Mike Oyoque, known as Mr. Excellence. He's been in the business for 29 years. And he's going to teach you today some of his methods of staying on top and being one of them. You were the #1 Century 21 offices?
Well, I used to own 18 Century 21 Excellence. I have the most in California.
Okay. Now he has his own company, Excellence Real Estate. How many offices do you have now?
We're 40 offices.
In Southern California.
Anybody from Century 21 here? Okay, because I got kicked out of the Century 21 system.
All right, I have the pleasure of introducing to you Mike Oyoque.
All right. Thank you, Marco. And I really appreciate Marco going to my seminars down in California. I do a seminar called How to Make a Six-Figure Income. Does anybody have me on Facebook here? Raise your hand. So we got a couple of people. Great. Well, first time seeing me, Mike? All right, we're going to knock you guys dead. A little bit about me. I've been in the business 29 years. I'm an old man in real estate, but I'm not an old man. I just started when I was 20 years old. I came straight out of Jack in the Box. I knew I was good because I could handle the drive-through, the fries, and the grill simultaneously for a short period of time, so I knew I could make it in real estate. So I got into the real estate business, and I went and took the course. At that time, there was about 100 people in the Century 21 system out in the Covina area, and I went ahead and took the test the first time, and I got a 33%. 33%, so guess what? I took the test, I took the class again. And when I took the class, a lot of the people that passed it the first time came back to with the teacher, hey, you know what, it was easy, I breezed right through it, and Mike Oyoque there just putting his head down. Well, I went ahead and took the test a second time, and I got a 67%. So then I went back again with a whole new 100 people that passed and everything, and it was a mess. The third time around, I went ahead and passed it. And I felt good, and I was one of the ones that went back to share the story. But what's interesting, that during that period of 6 months that I went to school, and I met about 300 people back in 83, 84, not one person is still in the business today. Yet I passed it the third time, and not one person I could say, hey, this is a colleague of mine that went through school when I went. Everybody's gone. Everybody's gone. And why? Because they didn't prospect. And this is my story as I go along. I went ahead, I was working at Jack in the Box. I went to interview an office. Boom, they didn't want me. Another one, they didn't want me. I went to the 5th office. Linda Almadale was opening up a Century 21 Almadale Realty. And she just wanted a warm body. So guess what? I was telling the brokers, I was saying, hey, listen, I'm working at Jack in the Box from 9 o'clock at night till 3 o'clock in the morning. I sleep, I'm young, I can work for you. And he says, no, I would never make it. So she went ahead and took me in, and I started my career there. But you know what's interesting? All the 4 brokers that denied me, they were out of the business shortly, and I haven't heard from them in over 25, 26, 27 years. You know, so think about this. What is it that kept me in the business and kept me going where a lot of people were going out of the business? I went ahead and started door knocking. I didn't know anything better. You know, I was a normal guy, door knocking. I had an old Pinto with no front end that I would park at about a block and a half away from the office. But I would walk in with a smile. And then what would happen is I'd get on the Pinto, 1970, and I would go ahead and travel through the streets. I said, somebody hit this way, oh, they look too mean. Go to this one, this neighborhood looks too rough, Spent a couple of hours driving around, scared, And then all of a sudden I end up at the park, it's lunchtime, forget it. It took about a couple weeks before I got acclimated that I had to get out of the car. And you see a lot of us today, anybody has a college degree? Okay, what is your major, sir?
Speech communication.
Speech communication. What is your minor?
I didn't have a minor.
No minor. Who has a minor? Minor. Advertising. Okay. See, when people go to college, they master one thing. But before you went to college to master your thing, did you take general ed?
Yes, I did.
Did you know what you wanted to do in life?
I thought I did.
Did you did? Okay. See, this is what I believe. I believe that the real estate industry goes into general ed. I'm into the business, I'm licensed, great, I'm ready to go. Well, what are you going to master in? I don't know. I'm thinking of doing a couple of open houses. I'm thinking of doing some door knocking, maybe go to a couple of events, but I'm thinking about it. That's general ed. The problem with the real estate industry is that we stay at general ed for the next 20, 30 years, and we don't master none of everything. Can you imagine a doctor saying, I don't know what I want to do? A doctor's a surgeon. He's a surgeon, he's this, he's that, whatever it is, that's what they master. And the real estate industry doesn't. We're stuck on general ed. And that's why we fail. That's why today we all fail. And we hurt. The only reason why we're hurting in the business, not because of the economy, because of us. Because of us. So see, the day we decide that we really want to work, guess what we say? I'm going to go back to basics. Last person that told me I'm going back to basics, I told him, when was the last time you went back to basics? He says, about 6 years ago. So you haven't been working for 6 years. Well, how'd you know, Mike? Because you're going back to basics. Who's ever used the term, I'm going back to basics? Say yes. Yes. We all have. But see, it doesn't matter where you've been. It doesn't matter where you're at. It's where we're going to go. And after today's seminar, how much time do I have, Marco?
An hour.
An hour. I'm going to go more than an hour. And I guarantee you nobody's going to leave here. I guarantee it. And the ones that want to leave, because I'll tell you, I drove all the way from Downey, California to teach you guys something that's going to take you guys to another level. And I'll tell you one thing, if you want to succeed, we're going to move forward. All right, so I got into the business and I started door knocking. As I started door knocking, I was 20 years old. And guess what? At 20 years old in 1984, it's equivalent to a 15-year-old today. I saw a little girl sitting in the back, and when I used to go to the seminars, hey, whose kid are you? At 20 years old, because the average age was about 38 years old. But guess what happens? I got into the business, and right away the title company started feeding us. I weighed 135 pounds, and I started gaining weight. The age level dropped down, and guess what? I was in. But I started hitting the doors. I started hitting 50 doors a day, 100 doors a day, 150. I was up to 300 doors a day. Just talking to people. To go to 10 listing appointments every month. To get 0. Can you imagine? I almost felt like quitting. People said, you know what, Mike, you're going to be a great salesperson, but you know what, this is our only home, and we can't take a chance on you, okay? So I kept going. So I says, how can I do it? So I got an old man, not an old man, but a person that had, please forget what I said, because I got an elderly person that I said, you know what, you're a part-timer, you don't do much of anything, how would you like to make a couple $100? And he says, yeah, let's do it. You're going to go to the next listing presentation, you're going to say you're my trainer, and you're just going to be there, and I'm going to close the deal, and you just go with it. And guess what? I started getting 7 out of 10 listings, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Next thing you know, I hit 100 listings. Back then, sometimes the listings, there was a time that you would rather take a qualified buyer than 10 listings. Right now, you'll take 1 listing than 10 qualified buyers, right? So the market changes, it goes into cycles. So I got to 100 deals, and I was doing good. I kept it going, kept it going, kept it going. And back then, I believe one year I closed in 1987, I closed about $335,000, which was about 100 deals. But the commissions, the average sales price was about $80,000. So if it would have been in the modern times during the peak, it would have been about $1 million in commissions. Lately, I've been averaging about, what did we close? Maybe like about 14, 20 deals?
About 15 deals last
And
year.
then the last year's about what, 30, 35?
The past 5 years, which probably done like 140.
Okay.
Over
So
5 years.
I've been slowing down because I've been doing my speaking, I started managing, I started doing, but I continue to do the things that an agent should do. I've been the worst agent in follow-up. I heard the young lady here talk about follow-up. You know, I probably, in the last 29 years, I haven't followed up with anybody. But the good thing is that I've always kept prospecting, and I always kept getting business, and people knew where I was at, and I was very fortunate that I was able to continue to do the success. Now, if I was to do it over again, I would probably follow up. See, the problem with the real estate agents is this. First name?
Zach.
Zach. Agent?
No.
No? Who's an agent here? Agent. First name?
Pablo.
Pablo. Pablo closes a deal. Mr. and Mrs. Gonzalez, here's your keys to the house. Congratulations. Boom. She goes and moves in. And Pablo hides. He takes off. And he never goes to the house. Why? Because if she doesn't call to complain, he did a good job. You see what I'm saying? We're afraid to go over there because she might say, hey, look, I think there's termites here. I think there's and then all of a sudden, we, they're going to start, getting our commission. And that's the reason why. That's your regular agent. We're afraid. And a lot of times when we're afraid, we don't succeed, and we start dying in the business. So my life went up, opened up an office in 1991. It was an ERA office, went for 5 years, took 16 agents to be the #1 within the first year under the ERA system in LA County. Just took everybody door knocking, and we made a lot of money. Then I opened up a C21 by 99. I had my second one by 07. I had 18 with 15 in escrow. I would have had probably about 35 today, but everybody was getting mad. They were saying, hey, why is this guy monopolizing? And I'm not monopolizing, I'm just having a good time. So we started butting heads, we parted ways, and we started a brand called Excellence, and we said, hey, we're just gonna start pushing it. My goal is to put 1,000 offices in California, just in LA County, and it's gonna work out, because we already have 10 in Downey, and in the city of Downey, 10 offices. We got more locations than Subway, we got more locations than Arcos, than Starbucks. So once you do one, it'll just start flowing all over LA County. It's just a given. But anyways, here's what I did. As I went on, the market crashed, started downsizing, and all of a sudden I said, heck, I gotta stay focused with what got me to the top. See, that's the problem. A lot of us, we stop doing what got us to the top. And it's prospecting. And I'm going to show you guys something that I do that when people used to ask me, Mike, what's your major? I was in Beverly Hills not too long ago in a big circle. And people were saying, well, heck, I went to Pepperdine, USC, boom. They were just going around. And I'm going, shoot, they're going to come to me. And all of a sudden they said, and Mike, where did you go to school? Well, I went to the University of Excellence. I just made it up, And somebody says, oh, that's a good school. So I kept going. And then, my youngest son, he's going to be 10 years old, and I named him Eric Judge Oyoque. And what's interesting is, in other conversations that I met, people said, well, we got a doctor in the family, we got so-and-so in the family. And I said, well, we got a judge in the family. Oh, really? I just leave it at that, right? So you just start moving. So here's what I started doing. People would ask me, what was your major? Well, my major was door knocking. That was my major. See, in my office at the time, we didn't have a listing board. We didn't have a sales board. We didn't have it. We had a door knocking board. And guess what? Every day, if you fill that in, guess what? Eventually it'll turn into sales. And that's what I used to do. And one of the things that I started doing is this. I never stopped prospecting. You know, there's an old saying, it's a myth, or I don't know what it is, but they say that the Indians dance for rain, right? The rain dance. And, you know, when the rain came around early, the gods were good to them. And when the rains came 9 months later, they weren't good to them. They didn't have radars like today, that it's gonna rain, it's gonna whatever. But the bottom line is that they never stopped dancing. So they always believed that it was gonna come. And one thing with Mike and Mr. Excellence is that I never stopped prospecting. I never stopped prospecting. Till today, we're prospecting every day. Now, I know it's difficult here because I got off the Hummer and all of a sudden I was like, whoa, it was cold. But you know what? I know there has to be a time when it was the sunniest day or the warmest that you can get out there. See, I'll tell you one thing. We were out in Scottsdale, Arizona, what, 6 months ago? I did a seminar in Scottsdale, Arizona on how to make a six-figure door knocker. And I said, oh my gosh, it's 110 degrees outside. These guys are gonna throw me out. And we're staying at the Phoenician, and I went ahead, I says, well, I'm gonna get up early in the morning. And I got up around 6 o'clock, and I walked the premises, says, this is it. From 6 to 8 is your door knocking session. And all of a sudden, that's where I got them. Everybody loved it. Everybody loved it. Now in Palmdale, all of a sudden, you know, when is the best time to door knock? Well, you got to find out when it's the less windiest or whatever, because I never stepped foot in Palmdale. Gosh, I didn't even know there was civilization in Palmdale. And yet there is. And Marco, thank you for having me come over here. Yes, I'd like some water. So anyways, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to teach you guys two majors that if today I went back into the business full force, it would make me a six-figure income. What I gotta do is I gotta look at the fact. Where's the sheet? I was doing some numbers as I was coming up, and I gotta see if Palmdale and Lancaster, is it the same market?
Yeah.
Okay. Which one's a higher? Palmdale. Okay. Because I know over there in my area, if you're not in, if you're in Pico Rivera, you're in the poorest side of town. So, what happened to my sheet? Okay, here we go. So I started looking at the numbers. Son, and help me out. How many deals are going on in the city of Palmdale and last month?
Palmdale, we have 4 zip codes. Zip code 1, 42 sales, 78 sales, 42 sales, and 7 sales.
A total of what? Okay, and how about
160.
160? How about Lancaster?
Lancaster.
I'm over in the camera.
Lancaster, we had 35 sales, 74 sales, 81 sales, and 9 sales. No, a little bit more than Palmdale. We had
Okay.
about 200 sales over there.
200 sales. So a total. Well, what is the average commission here? I know, but how much?
4,000.
4,000 gross commissions. Is that about right?
45.
Okay. Who has a calculator? Anybody? Okay. 4,000 times how many transactions was that? A total of what? 400?
About
Okay,
160.
360 times 4,000 is how much? 1 million, 1.5 million? Yeah, 1.5 million. And that's just on the listing side. That means that last month in the city of Palmdale and Lancaster, $1.5 million in commissions went through brokers that paid out their agents and everything and moved forward. Now, if you look at it times 2, because there's a selling side to the commission, $3 million. $3 million in 1 month. Times 12, average, how much is that? $36 million? Folks, if there's $36 million going out on the table in 1 year, and you're not making $100,000, you're not working. You're not working. You're listening to the negative news, you're listening to everything that's terrible, and you're participating in the recession. I'll give you guys an example. One of the things, and if you get a chance, go on YouTube, and you'll go ahead and I have a couple of training videos here that you can see. As a matter of fact, I brought in my dad. Come on up here, I'm gonna audio my dad. Come on up. My dad he's in March 15th, he's gonna turn 80 years old. So give him a big round of applause. And for those of you that don't speak Spanish, here we go. Dan, how many doors did you hit yesterday for me?
100.
100. Wow. And the day before?
125.
And the day before?
Same.
The same? And how long does it take you to do 100 doors? ¿Cuánto tiempo duras? 1 hour. 1 hour on the 50 by 100 lots, right? I don't know in Lancaster how they are. But you know what? My dad, I have him on video also on YouTube and everything, doing a 10-minute thing and everything. And all he does is drop off the flyers for me. And you know what? If you do that and you major on it, you're going to go ahead and make a 6-figure income. Thank you, Dad. I'll bring you out. So, let me give you an example. $4,000 per commission times 25 deals is how much?
100.
Huh?
100.
It's 100,000. So let's say to make 100,000, your broker makes some money, you make some money. You got to meet 30 people. 30 people that like you. You got 365 days, 12 weeks, 52 weeks, 24 hours a day to meet 30 people that like you. Now, if you don't find them, what's wrong? Is it that you have a bad personality? We don't know. This is that you're not making the contacts. You're not making the contact. You're not going out there. You're not doing what it takes to talk. So you want to make 100 grand, you need 30 people. I know that I got to find 30 people that like me, and if they like me, they're going to buy through me, they're going to sell through me, and I'm going to take home a 6-figure income. That's here in the Palmdale area. In other areas, it's 15 sales. Depends on the sales price. But here we're talking 30. How are we going to find 30 people? Well, simple. Here's one activity that I tell people that they should do. I have what's called a business stance. And what's interesting is that back in the old days, the title companies could provide us with these. And then they took it away from us. And just the other day on the meeting, I had like about, how many, 30? 30 landed in our office. I guess now they can give them back to us. So you can utilize, any title companies here? Can you utilize these now?
The flyer holder?
The flyer holder?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'll give you an example. Here's a flyer holder that to me, it's gold. I go ahead and talk, and I'll give you an example. I went to a bakery, I went to a place, and I said, hey, listen, can I put this professional stand right outside? Right outside, and you guys can take it, and all of a sudden, if, you know, hopefully I can get some money, and I'll continue to patronize. If you go back there once a week, 52 weeks, 52 weeks, you're going to come back, you're going to find competitors' flyers, you're going to have them gone, an insurance company, the flyer's going to be gone, but you got to just keep servicing it for once a week for 52 weeks, and you only got one sale out of it. Would it be worth it?
Yeah.
What if you had 30 locations? What if you had 30 locations? There's your 30 sales right there. There's your 30 sales, and yet nobody's doing it. Nobody's doing it. Nobody's doing it. Simple. Title company's paying, you do your own brochure. In my office, I provide these for free, so the agents, all you have to do is put them in, put their card, boom. Why do I provide it for free? Because it works. Most people don't provide it for free. Why? Because it's too expensive, and they don't believe it works because they've never done it before. So that's the reason why I do it. So all of a sudden, if you go out there, and I don't have some video, but I will put them up on YouTube, on some places how they've gone in. They don't know I'm in camera, and all of a sudden I show them, and it's put in, and people taking them. So if you go in there, shortly I will put them up. That's what I call a business stance. So guess what? That's a major. What if I just went ahead and master the business stands. And my goal is to go out there and put one business stand a day, times 5 days a week. That's 5 times 52 is how many? It's a bunch of business stands. Simple, every day, 1 hour. But what stops us from doing it is the fact that somebody's gonna say no. You know, I went to my dry cleaner guys, that I'm there every day. Every day I'm there, I'm picking them up, boom, boom, boom. You know, I'm probably his #1 customer. And I said, Sam, I wanna put a business stand, and all of a sudden, right here, you know, so I can, you know, generate some business and everything. And he says, you know what, Mike, I'm sorry, you know, I don't want to, if I let you, I gotta let everybody else. I says, no problem, Sam, great. I never went back, I went out to another place where I have it, and that's where it's at, and they're getting all my business. As a matter of fact, they get so much business from me that I just drive on the Hummer from the outside, I honk, they bring out the clothes, they get the new one, and it's done. And the other guy wonders, well, where did Mike go? He chased me away. And you gotta start patronizing people that can go ahead and get you the business. Think about it. That's what you gotta do, because that's a master. That's going out there and saying, hey, I'm a major in business stands. And this can be done with any type of business, insurance, any place. Think about it. You're able to go ahead and put it on. Questions on these business stands. Does it make sense, yes or no?
Yes.
Are people doing it out here, yes or no? No. They're not doing it anywhere. Why? Because they don't know. They're in general ed. They're thinking about it. And we cannot think about it. Think about it. Go back the last 12 months. If you would have put maybe 15 business stands, went ahead and gave them to them, do you think your life would be different today? Do you think you would have a few extra bucks? I think so. You know what happens is this. I had a family that I went ahead and made a sale, and the sale came in, and I went ahead and went to the owner, and I said, listen, I go, do you have any kids? Yes, I got 4 kids. So I took them 5 passes to Disneyland with a $50 Disney dollar for him, total about $500 package. Do you think I got to go back there and put the flyers again? Now I give them a big stack and say, hey, listen, when it runs out, fill them up. That's how you build a relationship. But you got to go ahead and help them out, because if they're helping you out, help them out. I'll tell you another thing that's crazy. I won't mention names because when she sees this video, she'll kill me. One of my agents in my office went ahead and put in a business stand at one of the places in the city of Pico Rivera. Lady flies in from Oregon, is eating there, picks up the flyer, gives her a call. She takes the listing. What did it sell for, son? The listing?
180, I think.
190. It sold for 190. Investor came in and says, let's go ahead and flip it together. I'll put the money, you do this, and that. It's closing escrow, what, next week?
In a couple weeks.
And she's making how much?
Probably about 30 to 40.
40 grand. From a simple flyer that went out, and guess what? She hasn't gone back to fill up the business stands again. And see, and that's normal. That's normal. That's a typical agent. Agents don't know how to follow up. They don't know, including myself. I mean, we're all guilty. It's in our nature. I had an agent that sent out a postcard. It was her. She came into the business, went ahead and sent out the postcard. It cost her 14 cents at the time. This was back about 2003. And she went ahead and got a call, double-ended the whole thing. I paid her $25,000. And she never sent out another postcard again. I says, why? She says, because I thought I got lucky and I didn't want to invest more money into it. See, and today she's out of the business. You know, a couple years ago, they went ahead and picked up one of my flyer stands, and the girl, Fabiola, was the daughter of the executor of 2 properties. Property in El Monte, property in East LA. I got the listings, sold the one in El Monte, and double-ended the one in East LA. I made $25,000. Guess what? If mine doesn't take the business stand, the business stand's not there for that person to take the flyer. And if the flyer's not there, guess what? The call's not in, the $25,000 just went out the door. Just like the movie It's a Wonderful Life. Remember that movie? If he wasn't born, all kinds of stuff would have happened. See, we dictate what's going to happen in our lives, but we got to go out there and make the effort. We got to go make the effort. You know, right now, this is what we're passing out for our door knocking. I took a business card, I just made it a jumbo business card. Just like that, simple. Office is in the back. And all I do is just, you know, we should have brought the camera. Do we have any access to camera here or anything so I can play a video
To YouTube?
to YouTube?
Yeah, we have access to that.